did everything in our home. And for me, that was a big deal because I found myself really kind of stuck in a medical situation that wasn't working for us. And so when someone brought the oils to my house, they had a conversation with me about a couple oils. 2 or 3, was it 3 oils? Told me how to use them, showed me how to use them, put them in my hands. And from there, we are now over 85% of that person's income. Yeah, because she had a conversation with me about oils, right? Now, someone who tells you that the oils will sell themselves is lying. Because I've purchased an every oil kit and it's still sitting in my closet. It has not sold itself. I would love to get money on that thing. It's like $2,000. But it's still sitting there. Why? Because no one has taken the box, opened it up, put it in your hand, and had a conversation with you about the oils, right?
That's right.
Okay, so the oils don't sell themselves. Are they amazing, magical miracles in a bottle?
Yes.
Yeah. But no one's gonna know it until you open your freaking mouth. So my topic today, you can't see my amazing PowerPoint slide? No, we do not put Angela V in the dark. Okay, I'm showing off this new body, this jumpsuit and everything, okay? We're showing it off. Thank you. But I did do a PowerPoint, and it's totally in my brand and everything, and it looks, you can't see it, but just imagine how amazing it is. And I put my picture on like every slide because I really like myself. I'm just saying. Now, I don't have a podium either, and that's okay. So you're going to see me bend over a lot. All right, this is just to keep me on track. Okay. So we're going to talk about the business of conversations, because that's really all this is. A lot of us like to say, oh my gosh, I'm now doing a doTERRA business. Now I need to freak out, think about it way too much, sit at my desk, order lots of business cards, and never hand them out. Right? And now I have to do all these weird things because I'm in the business. And I'm calling BS right now. You are just stuck in your stuckness. You are too afraid to open your mouth, and you think this business is really more than it actually is. It's nothing more than a simple conversation. Nothing more than that, okay? So we're going to talk about the business of conversations. Now this is the definition of conversation. I'm going to read it to you. Okay. It's plural noun. A talk, especially an informal one, between 2 or more people, in which news, ideas are exchanged. She picked up the phone and had a conversation about oils. That's what a conversation is. Guess what? Definition of doTERRA, how to do the business, right there. Okay? So, you are not doing the business when the conversation stops. Okay, write that down, that's gold. You are not doing the business when the conversations stop. There are people who say, I have fallen out of the business. I haven't been in the business. I haven't been engaged. The conversation has stopped. You're not saying words to people. And right now, more than ever before, we need each other. We need engagement. We need 8-second hugs. We need interaction. We need words face-to-face, not phone-to-phone. And y'all, if you watch my videos, you know I freaking love social media. But I have to have human interaction, right? This world right now, more than ever before, needs human contact. More than ever before. So, this is cute too. You just can't tell. It's keeping me on track. So if my to-do list doesn't say things like mentor call with Tracy, if it doesn't say things like follow-up call with Laura, set up first class with Michelle, right? It says things like launch Missy. What do all these things have in common? It's the name of my presentation. What do they have in common? It's a conversation with someone. So your to-do list shouldn't say make business cards. It shouldn't say create PowerPoint. Your to-do list, if you want to grow this business, if you want to put oils in people's hands, if you actually want to change someone's life, they need to be in conversation. Yes? You're going to be saying that word like forever after this. You're going to be like, conversations, Angelia, conversations, Angelia. I'm all over the place. There's a camera there. Hi. So your to-do list, if you want to grow this essential oil business, you have to have these things. And they need to be things that actually put you in contact and interaction with another human being. Okay? So, those of you who are doing the business of oils, raise your hand. Okay. If you're not doing the business of oils, that is okay. Unless you're on my team. Just kidding. That is okay. You can still be in conversation with your family, with yourself, which we all do. Now, how does this, do I put this oregano on my lips? That has actually happened. Done that. It's fine. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. I know. It's so funny, I posted something the other day about my daughter getting oil in her eye, and someone actually reprimanded me on Facebook Messenger. Like, you're a bad mom, and I'm like, I'm like, are you kidding? Oil kids is tough. They are tougher than any other kid out there, right? Am I right? Yes. Okay, thank you. So I came back with my loveliness, but anyway, I blocked her. It's fine. We are not afraid to block people. And then they message Eddie, why did your wife block me? He's like, did you piss her off? Maybe? All right, so I want you to turn to the person next to you because we need to be in conversation at all times. So I want you to turn to the person next to you or find someone you do not know. And I want you to tell them, talk to them, conversate with them on why you chose to do doTERRA, why you chose to use doTERRA. And it should not take you 30 minutes. It should take you 2. All right, so here we go. Connect. If you need to start off with an 8-second hug, do it. I hear it's powerful. This is my favorite part. When I'm in a class, when I'm in a training, my favorite part is that commotion, that noise. People were hugging, people were shaking hands, people were meeting, people were hearing each other's stories. You know, I have to admit, I'm going to stand up here and admit something. A while back, I preached to stop sharing your story. And I was wrong, and I'm admitting that out loud right here. I was wrong. Because Emily Wright, one of the owners, who knows who she is, I had the luxury to sit with her for 2 hours at lunch in a layover. And she said, the story that you carry is your magic. It's what built doTERRA. And she feared for leaders who were removing their story. She feared for the future. She said this, I fear for the future of my company that I built. When people take their story out of sharing, they take away the magic. They take away the reason why people join you, why they join me, why they join you. Otherwise, they're just buying oils, and that's not doTERRA. So sharing your story is a big deal. Do not take your gorgeous, beautiful, amazing, worthy, enough self out of your business. It's right where it belongs. Got it? All right, so you got to tell each other your story, you got to conversate, you got to connect with another human being. Now, have you guys heard of PIPES?
Yes.
Okay, who can tell me what PIPES stands for? Right here.
Prepare, invite, present, enroll, support.
Okay, prepare, invite, present, enroll, support. Now, for those of you who are veterans in this business, who's been at least 3 years, 3-4 years, raise your hand up high, okay? And then where are my newer people? Anything less than that? Okay, awesome. I love the enthusiasm at the back. She's great. She's like, yes! Right here! It's like Molly Shannon. 50! That's gonna be me. Okay, I love Molly Shannon. I love all Saturday Night Live stuff. All right, so where was I? Pipes. So for those of you who've been doing this business for a long time, you've always been doing pipes even though you've never called it pipes. We all do what? We all present. We all invite. We all prepare. We all enroll. We all support. Even though we didn't call it pipes, we've all been doing this. Now to deny empowered success is denying the top leaders in the company's goodness. I'm telling you that right now. Even as stubborn as I was, I realized I've always been doing this. My mind is just not as like papery. Lots of paper in there. But you know what I mean, right? Lots of pages. My mind is not organized that way, but it's okay. I realized all these things. So, we're gonna take you through the conversations of pipes. Whether you call it that or not, you are and always have been doing it. You cannot grow an essential oil business if you don't prepare, right? How many of us learned just a little bit more about lavender than the average person knew? All of us, right? We know that lavender doesn't grow boobs. Okay, we know this. We know just a little bit more than the average individual. And doctors who think they know anything about oils. They don't. Just saying. Sorry, live stream. Okay. Invite. Okay. We have to have the conversation of how to invite. We're going to move forward. So pipes. We're going to talk about that today. So first conversation is connect, share, invite. All right. How many of you have picked up the phone, met face to face, and invited someone to a class, to a one-on-one? Raise your hand up high. All right. There are tools that we have. Hair in the face. There are tools that we have to make it simpler for us to share. Now, if you have an oil right now, I want you to pull it out. One of your favorites. Just pull it out. This is one of my favorite ways to connect with someone. I usually pick a very pleasing oil. You can't go wrong with wild orange, lemon, kumquat, the oily swear word. I'm just saying. I'm a little inappropriate sometimes, I apologize. It's subtle. Hey, take out your most favorite oil, and I just want you to close your eyes, put it in front of your nose, breathe it in, and try to feel down. Try. Do it, set, go. Just try. Are you trying? It does! How easy did I just make sharing an oil to invite someone to a class or a one-on-one? Hand it to them and say, I want you to try to think of or feel any sort of negativity. And watch them. If they're now, you're like all high. It is a thing, apparently. All right, so the first thing you need to know how to do is put an oil in someone's face and go, I got this really cool experiment. Smell this and try and think of or feel a negative thought or feeling. And get them to do it. Then hand them the simple, healthy thing. Simple, we call it simple. Hand them that. Do you need to read through it with them? No, they're smart people. They are going to take that feeling that you just gave them, and they're going to go look through that booklet. After you've invited them to your class, you had a conversation with them, you gave them that feeling, you gave them that human connection. Don't text your invites. If you can get them on the phone or in front of you, do it. You're going to get more people into your classes doing it that way. We've become too reliant on texting. Can I just text them? Can I just slap you? Don't coach people that way. It's probably not good. All right. The next conversation is present the message. Presenting the message. So what is our tool for presenting the message? What guides do we have? Live guide, we can do that. So we have our natural solutions class, we have our emotions class, you have my weight loss tear sheet class from your oil tools. There are so many classes that you can teach. The bottom line is, you get people in a room and you teach them just a little bit more than the average person knows about lavender. That's it. A little bit more than the average person knows about peppermint. So many people want to go into like the science. I would have ran out of the room screaming and pulling my hair out had someone brought out the science. Sorry, Dr. Hill, we love you, but you bore me. I love Dr. Hill. He's a great man. But it's like that Jack Black and, well, who else did that thing with him? What's his last name? Farrell. Right? You're boring. That's how I feel during science. So maybe if you do a science and oils class, then the people coming will be prepared for that. But anyway, I'm just saying, you just have to be able to hold a conversation with the people in the room, what they want to get out of the presentation. What's the one thing you want to leave here knowing today about oils? Write it down as they speak to you so that you can touch on that. Because that person is giving you one of the most precious things they have, and that is their time. And so you better not waste it by trying to tell all the things you know about lavender, sesquiterpenes and all that stuff. Okay, I don't think I've ever said sesquiterpenes in a class unless I was making fun of it. Okay? All right, so we need to learn how to present. And the Natural Solutions Guide, all the different classes. I love all the systems that have been around and are around. I do not discriminate. I love them all. I'm willing to be open to share and learn from all things, okay? That's what makes me a great leader, is that I'm always open to learning more. I want you to remember that, okay? So teach the class, share your story. Why are you standing in front of them like a crazy person, public speaking and teaching about oils? Why? People want to know that. Some people come to just be like, why does this woman do this? Why does she leave her family? Why does she get on a plane to come teach this 4-person class? I don't understand. So I tell people, I'm here today because sharing doTERRA is my passion. The oils changed my life, and so now I believe it's my mission, my calling, to go around introducing other people to oils to help change their lives if they're open to it. This is what I do, and this is what I love, and that's why I'm here with you today. Share your passion, share your story. Does it have to be a big old drawn out business story? No. Do you have to be making a lot of money in order to share your story? No. You just have to share it, because it's powerful. It's you. It's all you. And the only people who choose to leave themselves out of their business are the people who don't think they're worthy enough. I'll tell you right now, you're worthy enough. How do I know? Because the oils are in your hands, and now there's no turning back. You have a mission. You are going to reach the people that I can never speak to. But they'll never know until you step into your worthiness and share. You have something very powerful to give them, okay? You do not need Angela Villa or Michelle Colson or anybody. You need you. So learn how to present the oils in a way that everybody can understand everybody can embrace, and everybody can leave knowing just one small thing that's the average person doesn't know, right? Simple as that, okay? And at the end of a class, please don't take a bow. Please close it and ask for the sale, okay? Because no one will know if the oils aren't on there. Shelves, dressers, counters, okay? So if you don't have a confidence in closing a class, talk to someone who has. Say, how'd you do that? Can you just teach me? Basically, I'll say, well, I just asked. I know that's helpful to you, but that's true, I just asked. So, who wants to buy the oils tonight? Sometimes it's as simple as that. We don't have to overcomplicate it, but we do in our heads. Oh my gosh, like I'm an Elise Chedevy freak too. I'm trying to embody her in this jumpsuit. When she walks in a power suit, I'm like, I want to be her. But right? You don't have to be her to close a class. All you have to do, share the oils, open the bottle, teach a little bit about them, and say, all right, now it's time. It's time to decide, do you want to make the oil journey or not? If you do, here's how you get the kits. Here's a kit. You ready to get started? Here's an enrollment form. Fill it out. Done. That's it. Okay? That's it. We want to blow it up so big in our heads. Who's guilty? Blowing it up so big. I can't ask for the sale. They're going to think I'm salesy. That's not a word. Stop saying it. If you mean sleazy, say sleazy. But stop saying salesy. You have to sell. We sell ourselves every day. To our kids, to our spouses. Oh, I have a headache, hon. You're selling. You're selling. We do it every day. It doesn't make me salesy. It makes me a human being. Wanting to get something done. So, all right, it's not a word. It's not salesy. All you're doing is, it's like a restaurant. Susie said it best. I should have her up here for the close. She said, Susie, how do you say the close? Here, come on up here. This is Susie. She's one of our diamonds. I'll hand you the mic. Susie, tell us what you say about the restaurant and the menu.
Oh, okay. So you're... Okay, so I just tell people you're like a waitress, okay? You go to every table, you offer coffee to everyone, and you don't take it personally if they don't want it, right? If they say no thank you, you don't say, I'm going to quit my job, this doesn't work, you know? But you just go to the next person and you offer it. You just don't take it personally.
Right.
Yeah, very good.
It's so true. How many waitresses have you seen throw the pot of coffee on the floor and run around screaming? None. Same thing. So just ask. Can we all ask from here on out? Yeah. Done. All right, cool. The next one. So we present the message. We share the oils. The next one, enroll successfully. Is there a guide for enrolling someone? Yes. It's the form you fill out at the end before your bow. Stop bowing, please.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for attending my class. There's brownies in the back. And they're looking at you like, so how do we get these? So hand out the enrollment form. One of my favorite things to do is to hand out the enrollment form. And as I'm introducing the kits, I say, go ahead and fill out the top part. That's just your basic information. We'll get that out of the way. And when we get to the end, we'll choose our kits together. Done. Simple. And if they say, I really don't want to choose a kit, all right, great. Do we want to build a kit? Maybe some things that are very personal to you. If they say yes, great. If they say no, okay, great. Get out of my way. No, just kidding. Just kidding. All right? Okay, lifestyle overview. Who in here has presented a lifestyle overview? Wish list appointment, wellness consult. Raise those hands again. Okay. All right. This is where your residual comes from. Do you know what residual is? If you truly know, and here's the quote, if you truly knew what residual income was, you would walk through frickin' brick walls to get to it. My retirement is set. I'm 41. My husband doesn't work a 9 to 5, and our retirement is set. Wow. Do you know what that did for his health? He no longer has hereditary high blood pressure because of that. His grandfather died before 55, his father died before 55, and his brother died before 55 of heart disease. My husband is not going to be that statistic because we have residual income. If people really understood what this was, they would walk through walls to get it. They would be chasing us. I'm going to do a meme one day. If you really knew what I do for a living with these oils, you'd be chasing me. Okay? This is how you get residual. If you're not doing this, you're just selling kits, and that's not enough. I can sell a lot of kits, but we generate over 10 million in volume every month. That's not from me selling kits. That's from our lifestyle overviews. I've got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of women doing these lifestyle overviews. It's just a conversation. It's sitting down, letting them spread their oils out. Sometimes you can sit on the floor, kids running around, spreading the oils out on the floor and going through them with the people in front of you, having a conversation. Some of us want to jumble it all in our heads and make it all complicated, like, I don't want to have that lifestyle overview. I don't know enough about the oils. Tools, guides. You simply need to know just a smidge more than the average person. Or, what else do we have? If someone says, well, I bought experience, yeah. Your stories are awesome, your experience is awesome. If someone says, I bought Pettigrain, Angela, I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, me neither. Oh, just kidding, I have this book. We got lots of books, Modern Essentials, we've got the new Advanced Oil Magic, which I'm in love with. What else do we have? We've got apps, we've got flashcards, we've got so many tools that help you just look up the oil and be like, hey, this one is great for oily scalp. How cool is that? Huh?
Solutions in your back office.
Yeah, all right? So it's another tool. Do your lifestyle overview. You can go online on YouTube and you can search. Molly Dayton does a great lifestyle overview, and I just kind of watched hers and learned, right? Very simple. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that this is about them. This is all about them. What oils, what needs. And I never want to approach anything like they're in a lack. The worst thing we can do is tell people they don't have enough of. You don't have enough health. You are in very poor health. You need better health. And they're coming from a place of not enough, right? Or you are super fat. You need to lose weight. So let's look at that. Okay? That has happened to me before. People have approached me that way with their products. I'm like, thank you for calling me fat. That's awesome. I appreciate it. It's fine. It's fine. We're all over it. I'm just telling, don't come from a place of lack. My favorite thing that Laura Jacobs taught was, what do you want more of? What do you want more of? You are already an amazing human being. Well, do you want more of that? Let me show you how. You always have enough. And when you come from a place of enough, you're never in that scarcity mindset. You won't take your people there, right? When people are in a scarcity mindset, are they going to want to set up an LRP? Not really. We don't want to do that. So the best thing you can do is have a conversation about more of. And it's right here in the guide. What do you want more of? And then from there, you walk through their oils with them. You suggest a few others, write it down so they have it. And then there's their 3 months of LRP, right? Simple. Conversation. Don't be afraid of this one. This is going to be your residual. All right? I still have people who started with me 8 years ago on loyalty, still month after month after month, because I chose to do that consult. Okay, we're not leaving this one out. All right, the next conversation, placement strategies. Does that scare all of you? Yes, it scares me, Angela. Okay, so placement strategies. Honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, you really don't need to worry about that until, I'm going to tell you, until you've enrolled 20 people. Come on. Don't be all freaking out about your 3 people that you just enrolled and you need to place them. I mean, I'm like, are you serious? Okay, don't let that stall you. But what kind of conversation is that? You need to go to your mentor, your upline, and have that conversation. Angela, in today's call, I have a couple placement questions. Awesome, let's have that conversation. All right? If you are an upline and a mentor, you've got to empower your people to build their business on their own. Yes, I like to swoop in and tell people where to place them, but I have to remember that they're gonna grow when they do this on their own. They can come to me and say, Angela, I need help with placements. Where's the best place for this? And then I'll step in. But I am really, Tracy knows I like to swoop in and be like, hey, put this person here, because that's gonna make me tons of money. Don't do that, okay? It's about them, it's about their business, and it's about where the people are gonna thrive, right? Okay? So one of my favorite things, Melina Harrison, she's a presidential diamond. She has a wonderful placements video out. It's awesome. I don't know where she has it. It may be on YouTube. But anyway, she says, I don't build, what did she say? I don't build, oh gosh, now I can't remember it all of a sudden, but she says, I build people. So when she's talking about placements and strategies, she wants to do what's best for the individual. She says, I build people. I don't build businesses, I don't build legs, I don't build to, oh, she said, I don't build to rank, and I don't build to my power of 3, I build people. But she's got like 3 power of 3s set, because she builds people, right? I love that. But it's a conversation that you have to have. Don't shy away from it, don't fear it, don't leave them on your front line, okay? Have the conversation. And another great conversation in strategies is talking to the person you enrolled. Did you offer them an opportunity to hear about the business? Because that's gonna give you a good clue on where to move them, isn't it? But if you fear it and I assume they're gonna do this business because they're on LRP every month, so I'm just gonna assume, stack people under them, and then they come back around going, what the heck? I just wanted to be a customer. You didn't have that conversation with them. Am I right? Thankfully, a wholesale customer you can't build under anymore, but that was a mess when I first started. Okay, don't assume, have the conversation. Hey, I see you're using your oils every month. Your LRP is solid. Have you ever thought about doing the business? Have you ever thought, like Laura talked about? I love that. I used to do that all through Diamond Club. Hey, you are an amazing customer. Would you like to invite some friends over? Okay, that's having a business conversation without really it being a business. It's just have some friends over, let's talk oils. Raise your hand if you've got people in your organization right now who you could call up right now and ask that question. Raise your hand. Yay! Okay, untapped market right there. All right, the next one, finding your builders. So we have to have business conversations. If you don't talk about the business, then no one knows it exists. They just think you're a crazy person who goes around telling people about oils. Whoa, I'm not sure what happened there. So you have to have that conversation, all right? Does the business conversation scare you? Raise your hand if it scares you. Don't be shy. Some people are like, it scares me. I'm scared. Right? It scares a lot of people because they feel like they have to have this enormous business, this successful, growing, thriving team to talk about the business. Is that truth? No, you don't. Is there anything wrong with, hey Laura, I freaking love these oils, and I'm thinking about doing the business. Do you want to hear about it? Is that bad? No. Can you do that to your friends who you trust more than anything in the whole world? Yes. But if you just start somewhere, then you'll be able to become a really good pro, accused of being a natural. But you have to start somewhere, right? Hey, I don't know anything about this business. I haven't earned a dime, but I'm gonna do it. You wanna join me? What's wrong with that? Nothing. You opened your mouth, you had a conversation, you invited someone in, right? Okay, that's me. Okay. I'm ready, fire, aim, that's me. All right, let's do it. What do we do? But again, have the conversation and then get better at the conversation, right? I talk about skill up. Okay, but you have to start somewhere. You have to be bad. You have to be so bad when you start. If you're amazing when you first start, there's something wrong with you. something wrong with you. Because my first invite to a class was a disaster. I uninvited her on the phone. That is not a joke. I remember being so nervous. We had just moved to Utah. My next door neighbor was my upline. Everybody in the whole, we lived behind doTERRA. Everybody knew about it already. And I called her up and I was like, oh my gosh, hi. I know you're super busy. I am such a waste of your time right now. I think I really said that. I'm devaluing myself on this call. I'm so sorry I bothered you. Oh my gosh, you have no time. No, I did all that. And then I said, I'm having this class. You probably don't want to come because you probably already heard about all these oils from Laura, but I'm having it anyway. I'd love for you to come, but don't feel like you have to. Did she show up? No. Because my worth to her was I wasn't worth to myself, right? But because I started there. But I started. The first time I ever invite someone, I uninvited them on the phone, but at least I'm 10 steps ahead of the person who still hasn't done that, right? That's where many of you are just stuck because you're like, I don't know what to say. I don't want to bother my friends. You're not bothering your friends. They need your 8-second hug. They need to know you're still alive. They need to know that they still matter to you. So call them up, invite them, and then shoot the breeze. Don't shoot the breeze first. Because then you're all, so now that we've gotten everything out of the way, let me talk about why I really called you. That's rude. Don't do that. Okay? Get them on the phone, get them in person, invite. Anyway, business. We're talking about business. Sorry. Oh, what slide is that? All right, so business is the same idea. If you have talked to them, if you've had the conversation of oils, if you've had the lifestyle overview conversation, you gotta have the business conversation. Even if to help people better understand what it is. Sometimes I'll say that, do you wanna hear about the business just because you're curious to know what the heck I do? And they're like, sure, awesome. This is a business where we go around having conversations about oils. Done. Okay? Talk about business. Start bad. Get worse. Ask your upline how to do it better. And then start to get better. But do it. Okay? All right, the next thing is all of these conversations. How am I on time? Where am I? Okay. All of these conversations are wonderful and amazing, and all the guides will take you through everything. Your upline will help you. Things will move forward, but only if you make time for it in your schedule. You cannot do this by the seat of your pants. I've tried. It doesn't work. The conversations will not naturally come up if you're not scheduling them in. To-do lists are great. I love to-do lists, but if I don't get something done on my to-do list, guess what I do? I just move it to the next day. That's where to-do lists fail us. I love them. I will seriously write down something I did 3 hours beforehand just so I could check it off. I love lists. Seriously. I'm like, it's date night, check. I mean, sometimes, I'm not gonna go there. We're not gonna talk about that. Schedule everything. I'll just leave it like that. How about that? I do schedule everything. And I'm like, that's not on the schedule, honey. Don't touch me. That's like legit. He's back there going, it's true. Schedule it, because if you schedule it, it happens. We don't schedule doctor's appointments and then cross them off and go tomorrow. Your conversations need to become a priority, and when they're a priority, they will be in your schedule. If you opened your planner right now, I'm talking about a day planner, I'm not talking about a cell phone. You're embarrassed to show me, raise your hand. My leaders. You've got to schedule your success. You've got to schedule the things that you want to be good at. Some of you, your exercise time does not budge. It stays, it's solid. If anybody messes with it, you're like, no. You are now on my death list. Okay? Your hair appointments that you've had for months out, they are scheduled. They are important. Your doctor's appointments, your children's things. What about your business? If these conversations are not scheduled in, they won't happen. They have to be scheduled. I literally have time spots that say prospecting calls. That's just a short way for me to say conversations with friends about oils and invites and classes. That's it. Do you understand how important scheduling is? I need you to lock in these different conversations into your schedule if you want to move forward. Now, why is this so passionate to me that you lock this stuff in? Because my goal, what I do, what drives me, is yeah, I make a lot of money. I make money that people think is monopoly money, okay? That's a blue diamond check. So all my diamonds out there, get there, because it's totally worth it. And you've got golds, and they're leading themselves, and you're not building their businesses anymore. It's so great. It's wonderful. But the money doesn't move me the way it did. Back when I first started, we had $0, no job, and I was moved by money. All I needed was $1,800 extra dollars. That's all I need. If I can match my husband's unemployment, then I can pay our rent. That's all I needed. And now it's gotten to a place where I don't care. I mean, I give half of what we earn sometimes to Operation Underground Railroad just because I can. And I love that. But it doesn't move me anymore. What moves me is now seeing the women under me making money. And why I get really passionate is because if I'm not inspiring you up here to put this crap in your calendar, then you're not going to take the next step. And then in my passion of moving women, inspiring women to move forward, is lost. Don't let it be lost with you. Okay, ladies, a man is not a financial plan. He's just not. Okay, you have to create something for yourself. You have to. You just don't know what could happen.
That's right.
All right? So we have to schedule. We have to schedule our mentor calls, and we schedule our classes. If you do not have a weekly class, weekly, I did not say monthly. If you are considered a builder, you have a weekly class. If you're a leader, you got more than that. Because we do what we tell our people to do. And if we don't, we're fake. And we're not really making money. Okay? All right? Now I say making money, and you can translate that into putting oils in people's homes. Whatever floats your boat. Okay? So I need you guys to do that, because that's my passion, is to see women creating an income that they can support themselves with. That's a big deal to me. All right? Schedule your success, because it's not going to work if you just fly by the seat of your pants. Conversations. This whole thing, any money off of, and they're my dearest friends because we started with a simple conversation. Right? Conversations create organizations. So you may be that person right now, and we did this when we first started. We had a dry erase board. Eddie did it, so it's all on him. And he had, on our first month, he showed what our organization looked like. And how many people were on there? 3 people. One of them was my mom, the other my aunt. Whoop! They are no longer doing anything except for ordering once in a while, and sometimes ask me to pay for it. It's fine. We're okay. The next month, he took another shot. How many were there? 8. Those were 8 conversations I had that turned out right for me. Turned out right, turned out wrong, it's all good. We do it all, we want it all, right? And he did it again the next month. And I think it maybe doubled itself.
45.
And then he did it again the next month. Got some cool numbers now, honey? 4th month. And all of this just came from the conversations. Conversations create organizations. Conversations create leaders. 114,000 people.
Wow.
From conversations. That's it. The power of one person is very impressive. I met another person. Her name is Missy Garcia. She pretty much owns all of Southern California. It's amazing. And had they not had those conversations, these people wouldn't have been in my organization. It's all it is. So you look at it as this huge, enormous, big, large, huge business, and all it is what?
Conversation.
A conversation. When the conversation stops growing, when the conversation stops, your business stops growing. Don't let that happen to you. Keep that conversation growing. Conversations spark change. Conversations describe. Conversations, it's over. So have them, and have them all the time. And fall in love with what you do. Yes?
Yes.
Thank you guys so much.
So Angela, so you talked about the Advanced Oil Magic book.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
So we're gonna do a sales kind of thing with it. I'm gonna give you a book. This is gonna be that fear of loss. It's your favorite book. You're about to give it to somebody. All right.
I love when people send me things to give away. I'm like, no.
All right. So I got a raffle ticket here.
This is amazing. Who's seen this? I love this book.
Just so you know, we have them on our website in wholesale also. So if you want the Advanced Oil Magic, we have a few left out back. But this one, I don't know how to do suspense. I'm not that type of person. 9980315.
You read that. Say it again. 998
315. Yay! Awesome. Congratulations. Do you have this yet?
I do not.
You do not. It's going to make your conversation so much simpler.
All right, who wants some shirts? We're going to give away some stuff. All right, so here's what I want to do. First off, the first shirt is going to go to the person who has enrolled somebody in the last 7 days. Wow, look at that. Okay, hands down. Who's in? You got your first enrollment? That was your first enrollment in the last 7 days? Okay, you got that. I was going to throw them at people, but I felt like this would be more fun. Okay. Okay, who has had somebody that they personally enroll another person in the last 7 days? It's a lot. Okay. All right, so okay, put your hands down. If it was that person's first enrollment rate,
Be able to get points across to you that I want to tell you. And I am so frustrated at myself if I miss something. So I'm a note lady. And I have my notes from my slides with me because I don't want to miss anything that you guys need to hear today. Because if I can share something with you that's going to inspire you, change your business, change how you think about this business, that is what I'm here to do today. And I am so excited to be with you. And not to mention, I always have to follow Angela. So this is the second event that I am in Angela's shadow. And I'm like, great. Angela just walks up with her clicker and her show tunes, and I'm carrying my notes with me. So there's a little bit of difference here. But I hope you guys get a lot out of the insight today. I hope you can see a little bit of it. But when I was getting ready to think about topics, what I wanted to present, I had a little bit of struggle, and I had talked to Eddie about that. I'm like, I don't know what I should talk about. But what I decided to talk about is my business story, basically how I went from high heels to flip-flops, how I worked this business and said goodbye to corporate America. And I'm going to share with you the steps that I took to get there, the mistakes that I made so you guys don't have to make the same. And if you guys have any questions about how I did this, I would love for you to ask me, because if I miss something, I am an open book. I want you to be able to ask me in America, that if there's anyone out there that's working, that's doing this business, anybody? You currently have a job? Does anyone have a hope to leave? That it will inspire you to let you know that this can totally be done, and someday you'll have a better insight into what they're thinking, okay? So I want you to know that just because somebody that you think would want to do this business, they have a good job, they're successful, they have an education, they would never want to do this business with me. Don't count them out, because that was me, okay? So you guys ready to say goodbye to the 9 to 5?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I don't know if you guys can see that. I thought I would introduce you to my family first, so you get to know me a little bit. Facebook 10-year comparison. 10-year challenge photos, nobody?
Yes, I did.
You did? Okay, well this is me and my husband on our wedding day. in 2008.
Yeah. They can turn those lights on and turn. No, maybe not.
That's me and my husband. And then 10 years later. We're clearly not using our lifelong vitality. Just kidding. Okay, so this is my family. 6 years AD. 6 years after doTERRA. And this is my husband of 10 years and my 2 kids. Eden's 8 and Renzo is 6. And I am so thankful to doTERRA because it was the introduction to oils that changed how I would manage my health care, starting from my pregnancy, my birthing, and how I was going to raise my children. My kids know what oils to use for what purposes, and they are absolutely shocked when they meet a friend in one of their classes that don't use oils. It's like, everybody should be using these, right? Like, don't they have oils? So it's funny, she's always like, give these oils to so-and-so so they can give them to their mom. And so I have children that help me share as well. So I'm so glad that someone invited me to a doTERRA class, and that was 6.5 years ago. And I'm so glad I said yes, because that yes changed everything. So this is how it all started, okay? That's me. And that is what I looked like when I walked into my first doTERRA event. Okay? I was 8 months pregnant, and I had been invited to this class by someone I hardly knew on Facebook. And it happened to be in the same city that I lived in. So I thought, okay, it's not very far, I'll show up. And I knew that I wanted to use essential oils in my birthing. So that's how I was introduced. Did anyone in the room ever use a doula with their birth? A couple of you? So I went through Bradley Method. Yay. I know we had something else in common. I went through Bradley Method training to birth. And I had a doula the first time, so the second time around, my husband was going to be my birthing coach. And I had already have a 2-year-old. So I went to the class looking for oils that I could use for birthing. That's specifically what I went for. And when I sat through that class, I could not believe all the different ways that you could use these essential oils for your health needs. I was really blown away. And guess what? I left the class and I did not enroll.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh's right, right? I enrolled a few days later and I bought 2 oils. Okay? Why am I telling you this? Because anything's possible. Anything's possible. I want you to know that just because someone leaves your class and doesn't buy the biggest kit or doesn't buy a kit at all, doesn't mean that they won't turn out to be your biggest builder. Okay? So don't discount anyone. I just want you guys to understand that because I turned out to be one of the biggest builders on one of my friends' teams, right? So I didn't start sharing doTERRA until 6 months into me using oils, and I had a really good reason because I had just had a baby. And what changed in my mind at that moment was the fact that I had been working at an investment firm in Newport Beach. I went to college to get a good job. I had a great pay, but I was working a lot of hours. And I had a 2-year-old and I had a newborn. And something changed in me that day that said, you do not need to be going to work all the time. You need to be home to raise your kids. I had this desire to be home more. So there are many people that will have life changes that are in corporate America that you will be able to reach because something may change in their lifestyle. So I would take my little boy, put him in the carrier, and I would teach classes, and he would sleep through. And that's how I started doing my doTERRA business. I just worked it how I could. But before I jump into some of the steps that I took to build my business while I was working, I want to talk to you about something probably more important than any step that you'll ever do. And this is mindset. So as you're starting to build your doTERRA business, your mindset has to be right. Okay? So it takes a different kind of mindset to be successful in anything. And that's okay if people think you're crazy, that you're doing this oil thing. It's okay. You just keep believing, okay? Anything is possible if you have the right mindset and the desire to do it and the effort that you put into it, okay? And once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it. So when you start to have that belief in yourself and in your business, people will gravitate towards that. They'll be able to see that. And you have to eliminate the mindset of can't and instill belief. And one very wise person told me, you can only quit on a good day. Right? Who wants to quit when they rank advanced? Who wants to quit when they hit their $1,500 bonus? Right? But getting to that point, do you think every day has been super fun for me? No, it is not. And there has to be something inside of you that keeps driving you forward. Believe in yourself and you will succeed. So let's talk about vision for a moment. How many of you have vision boards? Wow. I am really impressed. It took me a long time to get a vision. So on my vision board, you have to be very clear. You have to be very clear about what's on your vision board, and it has to drive you. And I'm talking about not just like, yeah, I would like to quit my job. But what is it on that vision board that when you see that every day, you are driven to keep going? And you're excited, and it instills passion inside of you. So on my vision board, I had my kids' private school. That was something that was a non-negotiable for me, that I would keep my kids in a Christian private school. And so my income goes to that first. That was something that I needed for them. In addition, I have a mortgage. I have a picture of the house there. And like, I would like to pay off my mortgage someday. And then travel was huge for me. I had a desire to go to New Zealand and Australia. And so it has to drive you. And why I want to hit that point home is because if your vision is not bigger than a bad day, you may not make it to the next day. So have that vision board and have that something where you're like, I am going to do that. I'm getting there. Okay? So here's some steps I took to get to where I'm at today while I was in corporate America. Some of these are going to be no-brainers to you, but I hope you will learn a little bit along the way. So first, when you enroll with doTERRA and you decide, I want to do this business, you have got to use the products. Okay? And I'm talking like in your purse all day products, where you can pull them out in the grocery store, you can pull them out at your desk, you can pull them out all the time. Your hand sanitizer, your wild orange peppermint, whatever it is, use them, okay? I love Lifelong Vitality, and that's a completely different talk show and a completely different story. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune issue, and Lifelong Vitality was a lifesaver for me. But if I didn't have that testimonial, I can't share with someone else. So what I want you guys to do is use all the products so you have testimonies. And then when you meet somebody, that has a concern, a health concern, you may already know exactly what oil they need because you've experienced that yourself. Or maybe someone you've enrolled has experienced that. Okay, utilize the product of the month. You want to add to your collection free, right? So, product of the month. Now, I put down here 150 PV on loyalty rewards by the 15th of the month. Why do you think I said that?
Because it takes 600 in your personal cart, including your front line, and your 3 top front lines, and you are all here.
Yes. So if you do 150 PV by the 15th of the month, you're going to be getting the free product of the month. And you want to teach your builders to do the same, because that will duplicate down and your power of 3 bonuses will just start happening. Okay? That's what you want. So I always teach my people how to get their 50 and then say, keep working down. Teach your people how to get their 50, and before you know it, you have a $1,500 bonus. Okay? Sampling and sharing. So I sampled all the time, okay? And it's up to you how you want to build your business. I know there's some people that say you don't even need to sample to enroll people, and that's true. That is true. I have enrolled plenty of people without sampling them. But when you get oils on people, they have an experience, and things begin to change, okay? So I sampled and shared with everybody at my office. So if you're working, have oils at your desk. Sample people at work. Enroll people at work, okay? I had a large group of people at my corporate job that were enrolled to me because that's what I did every day, right? And you want to invite those people that you sample to events, okay? Either it's your upline that's hosting a class, maybe it's you that's hosting a class, and that doesn't mean you have to have a class at your house. You could say, hey, you want to go meet for coffee? You want to go have a drink over happy hour and chit-chat with them about the oils that you sampled them, okay? This is all relationships. Take the time to talk to them about their health needs, okay? And follow up. So I was labeled the follow-up queen on my team because I never stopped following up until someone enrolled. Yes. I just didn't. If they didn't just say, no, leave me alone, I kept following up. And I don't mean like every day. I mean maybe once a month. You know, maybe it was once a week for a little while. And I could tell if it was a hot prospect or maybe not so hot that way, right? If you kept hearing, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I've just been busy, keep following up with me. And you know, I never had anyone say, stop checking in on me. Never. If anything, I had the opposite. I had people saying, oh, thank you, I'm such a flake. Thank you for following up with me. And I even had someone say, thank you for following up with me and not hounding me. Like you have a way about you that you're just checking in, right? And that's, hey, how did you like that sample that I sent you? Did you have a chance to use it yet on your sleep problems? You know, no, okay, great. Let me check in with you in a few days and see if it helped, you know? If that helped, great. If not, let's try a different oil. You know, there's so many different ways that you can chat. They will know if you're helping them from your heart. They will know, okay? And enroll. Right? That's easy. So I always enrolled people myself, but now we have Link Generator. If you guys are familiar with that, which you can create a link for them, it's a lot easier. I never wanted anyone to go into the link themselves and enroll them because something always happened. Something was bad, or they ended up as an orphan somewhere, and I just decided I was going to do it all, and then I would set them up at their wellness consult with their ID and all that information. And then when you're enrolling them, you know, for me, keep it simple, just so simple. Small bottles, large bottles, family essentials kit, home essentials kit, okay? If you feel comfortable presenting the natural solutions or the diamond kit, do it. But in the beginning, if you're not, let them choose, keep it really simple, okay? And then pipes. I know you guys heard about pipes earlier today. Prepare, invite, present, enroll, and support. If you can remember pipes, you will be successful. You just keep repeating that over and over and over again. All right. So, when you're working and building a business, it can feel like you've got no time for anything. And then try having a husband and try having 2 kids under the age of 3, and you just feel like I'm gonna go nuts someday. But what drove me was my vision. I was gonna keep going no matter what. But I utilized my time so wisely. I had to. I had no choice. So my commute, I had a 30-minute commute. What did I do on my commute? I either listened to inspirational, go get 'em, GoPro type stuff on my way to work or on my way home. Or my lunch break, I would follow up with people. I can eat a sandwich and talk on the phone. And I worked late at night. And I know that's hard sometimes, but the kids would go to bed, my husband would work out, and I'd jump on the computer. And it's funny because the days went like this when I was on the computer, and you would know, ooh, all these people are up working, and I was getting text messages at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and like, that's my night crowd. And in the morning, like, I would know who my moms were that stayed home with their kids, they were home. So you get used to that, but it's worth it. And then self-development. I was constantly working on myself, and I had no idea that doTERRA was a self-development company because they kept saying they were an essential oil company. And what I learned very quickly was that no, it's not. It's going to stretch you and mold you and change you, and I'm still changing. 6.5 years later, so I attend every single event. I can't tell you how many lanyards I have at home. I laid them out one day just to see them all, and I was like, wow. And one day I lined them all up by date, and then I saw my husband pop in there, his lanyards. And that was pretty cool because I could see the change and the growth that I was making. And seeing when we became really a family event, when, okay, now he's coming to convention with me. So I attended every single event I could, and congratulate yourselves for being here today, to learn something new, to stretch yourself, to bring your team. It's so important. And then audiobooks, I'm a book kind of person. Like, I like hard copy things, and so I have so many of those at home, but I know a lot of people that use audiobooks now when they're commuting, and they love them. So GoPro, Beach Money, Be the Starfish. If you guys don't have those, jot them down, because those books and those audio books are great, okay, while you're building this. And then I did Diamond Club. So I would encourage all of you, once you get to Premier Silver, do Diamond Club. It's exhausting, but it will propel your business and create the most amazing relationships with your team. I went from gold to platinum the first time, and I went from platinum to diamond the second time. And I was away from my family when I hit diamond, and I remember standing in the bathroom of the condo that I had rented, looking at myself in the mirror, sobbing in gratefulness that I had achieved the goal that I had set for myself. And I had the best support around me, the best team there. And I knew when I came home it was going to be great, but man, I wanted to hug my kids and just be like, I did it, I did it, I did it. It was so exciting. So Diamond Club is so great and so hard at the same time. And I cannot make this point strong enough. Run with those who want to run with you. Don't drag bodies around. I drug bodies around for a long time. And so the people that are texting you, messaging you, asking you questions, showing up to your events, those are the people that want to run with you, and pour into them. It will work itself out. All right, and there's also 2 pages of this, so I made a lot of mistakes. So I place people in the wrong places. Okay, sometimes that happens in your business, so when you start placing, please use your upline support for help while you are placing people. But now I look for committed and capable. Okay, those are my frontliners. Committed and capable means they do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it. That's committed. And capable are those people that are showing up, inviting people, enrolling people, supporting people. Can they bring people into the business? Okay? Those are the committed and capable. Now everyone thinks they're committed and capable. Okay, everyone thinks that. Okay, but you will quickly find out who is really committed and capable. Okay, then you have either committed or capable. Those people will be your builders or sharers. Level 2s and 3s are okay. And you have neithers. I just want to use my oils. Okay, level 4 through 7 customers. Now, that sometimes gets screwed up when you have someone who says, I do not want to do this business. I have no interest in this business. I will never do this business. I hate network marketing. I just want to use my lavender. And guess what? A year from now, I want to do this business. Okay? Because they see it, they feel it, right? That happens. It's okay. You can figure out what to do with them. And if they're down farther, great. Right? It's okay. So Gina Truman spoke at convention this year, and she mentioned something, and listen, you guys, 6 years later, a light bulb popped on. And I was like, I've been spending the wrong time on activities. Spend 20% of your time on your current team, and spend 80% of your time on income-generating activities and bringing new people into your business. I found that I was spending like 80% of my time on dragging bodies around and 20% on trying to recruit people and share the oils. Who's been scared to open your mouth about doTERRA to somebody? Only a couple? Come on, stop lying. Okay, even today, there'll be times when I'm like, oh, no, I won't say anything about it. You know, I'm kind of a, what do they call those, introverted extroverts, or vice versa. One of those people that don't like to talk to people sometimes. And so I'll go into the grocery store with my baseball hat on, I'll be like, don't talk to anybody, don't talk to anybody, don't talk to anybody. And it's just so weird, because like my business is relationship building. That's what I do for a living. And I share natural wellness with anyone and everyone, because everyone needs this, but there are times that I have missed opportunities. I've even had people come up, like flat out walk up to me, what is that? It smells so good. I'm like, oh, oils. Put my hat on. You know, it's just like, there's some days I just don't want to talk to people, but I remember talking to my upline not too long ago and said, oh my gosh, I missed an opportunity today. I am so mad at myself. Right? So don't make the same mistake. You have no idea if that person will become your next business partner. And also, another mistake that I made was when I started really growing the business, you start looking at numbers a lot. You start wanting to achieve ranks a lot. You start looking at your back office a lot. And my focus went from sharing from my heart, wanting to help somebody, to I gotta. And so every now and then I still have to step back and be like, what do I need to give to them today? Okay? Discouragement and distractions. So you will have those days that are discouraging. You may have a family member that decides to enroll with their friend instead of you. You may have someone backstab you. You may have someone on your team tell you that you suck as a leader. I'm not joking. And there are some really, really bad days. And there's been days that my energy has been so sucked out of me that I think, I can't do this anymore. I cannot please everybody. I am so sick and tired of being pointed at like, this isn't good, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And I had to come to the realization that I have God-given strengths to him. Because you have these strengths that are just given to you. That is who you are as a person. And if you try to be anyone other than yourself, it will show. And you will come across as inauthentic or something else. So don't get distracted and just keep being you. And I also had no clarity on who I wanted to partner with, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. So Richard Branson, I love this quote, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, say yes. Then learn how to do it later. Okay? You'll figure it out. I love her. Isn't she cute? Okay, so you're at your corporate job. You worked really hard. You did everything I said to do, and now you're unemployed. Now what? You think everything would fall into place, right? You think you have it all together. You're ready to start working in non-corporate America. Well, guess what? That is not exactly how it happened. And I've seen other people that have dealt with the same thing on my team that have retired. So I know I didn't even know who I was. Isn't that weird? Because my whole career was investment management. And now I never saw all my people. I was sitting at home with my kids. Just what I wanted. Yay! What am I going to do with all these screaming kids all day long, right? I had to find myself again. And it may take months. But you will start getting a schedule down. Make sure you get up and shower. Sometimes you won't. It's okay if you're sitting in your pajamas. Just make sure you change your top if you do live videos. Nobody knows I'm sitting in my pajamas usually. But life changed so much. I went from my suits and my high heels to my flip-flops, literally. And I will go walking on the beach now in my flip-flops, and I don't have anything to do. And that's great, but you still need a schedule, right? And you need to set goals. So now that you're home, you need to make sure you have goals set, and maybe you already have all those laid out, okay? But I just want to let you know that it's not as easy as it looks once you're sitting at home. I worked better when I had 50,000 things to do in a day. And now I wake up and have nothing. So I still make lists, though, that really helps. And have an accountability partner, preferably your upline. Okay? And the number one thing, give yourself grace. So I've helped people that have retired from their corporate job, and they're really hard on themselves. These were like high income earners, go-getters, vice presidents of corporate America companies. That's all they knew, and now they're sitting at home behind their computer some days. And they really had a difficult time finding themselves, and they kept beating themselves up over and over and over like I did. So I can relate to them, but give yourself grace, right? Make a list, tomorrow will be better. All right, so attracting builders. If you guys want to jot down your answers to these questions, I want to do a little exercise. So are you a builder yourself?
Yes.
So how many people do you enroll per month? Estimate. Are you including the business opportunity in all of your discussions? And are you inviting people to build with you? Okay? Do you know who you're looking for? Quick little story about this yellow car. There was a story about someone who left the airport at a group of people, and they said, while we're driving to our destination, I want you to point out every yellow car you see. Well, how often do you see a yellow car? Not very often. When you see it, you're probably wondering, why did you buy that? Sorry if you own a yellow car. I did not think about that comment. All of a sudden, everyone started seeing yellow cars. There's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. Well, it's because you knew who you were looking for. You knew what you were looking for. So if you make a list of exactly what you're looking for in a builder, guess what? You're going to start recognizing them when you see them. Do you believe you have something great to offer? You better believe it. Best essential oil company in the world. Best life changer in the world. And be the energy you want to attract. So after all that, and after all the mistakes that I made, and after all the heartache, and after quitting my corporate job, I want to let you guys know it's all worth it. So this is me walking the purple carpet at convention in 2016.
Yeah.
This is Emily. She's the first person that I saw when I walked off that stage. And she was there hugging every single person, congratulating them like that was their only night. And I don't know if you can see this. We are all wearing 2019 New Year's glasses, standing in front of the Sydney Opera House. So this December, my family took a 12-day cruise to New Zealand and Australia, and we were there for 3 weeks. That was on my vision board for 2 years. So have your vision clear. And now a famous quote from one of my favorite historians. Just kidding. Anyone else? Marie Kondo? Anything? Okay. Discard everything that does not spark joy.
Amen.
Okay? Clear out what is not making you the happiest person in the world, and just focus on what's sparking joy for you. And that's where you can find me. But really quickly, I have one more thing. I think my time's out. I saw a lot of hands raised, people who said they are committed to quitting their corporate job and they want to do this business full time and say goodbye to corporate America. If that is you, the first 2 people that run up here, I have a special gift for you. You want to quit your job, corporate America? I've got 2. What did you guys get?
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops. If you have a pair of flip-flops, okay, if you just, that's not all. It's not just a piece of paper. Just a minute, I'm not done yet. If you guys grabbed a pair of flip-flops from me today, come see me after the event. I want to get your email address. You are getting a pair of my favorite Sanic flip-flops to remind you that you have a goal and you will reach that. Okay?
Thank you, Jen, very much for. I'm sorry, I'm a little scattered. I'm trying to do 5 things at once, or actually maybe 6 things at once. Yeah. We got tablet issues, everything, so we're moving along. So the next person we got coming for you is Samantha. I didn't know her until a couple weeks ago, but I know she's been highly recommended by Eddie. So I read some of the content she's got and looked at it, so I'm excited to see what she's got to bring for you. So, Samantha,
Is there a weird spot? If I move, it'll start to go.
no, you can try.
Okay, because I walk when I talk a lot, and I always get a and people are like, stop going over there. So, see, it's making a noise.
Yeah,
Is that me?
it was you.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yay! Okay. Hi guys, how are you?
Great. How about you?
Okay, so I'm totally that person. I'm gonna have everybody stand up. If you have a knee problem, put some deep blue and then stand up. They're all gonna stand up. This is only gonna take 1 minute. It's gonna be super quick, but I want you guys to just stretch, okay? Take a big, big, deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Yes. Did you guys have a decent lunch earlier? Yes. Okay. And stay standing. If you can pull out your favorite oil, preferably peppermint, wild orange, please get your brains going because I'm going to talk. I want you guys to take lots of notes. So put out your favorite oils, and then you're going to stand back up because we have to do something really quick. So stay standing after you get your oils out. If anybody has basil on them, I would love some basil. I love that tip, you guys. I'm a birth doula, and we use basil in transition when mom is like really not feeling confident in herself. I love that tip. That was awesome. Basil in the room. Who was the lady who had like 30 oils on her earlier? Yay! We found basil. Thank you so much. Thank you. I saw you counting your oils earlier. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're gonna roll because I talk too much and we'll go over and everyone will kill me and I'll never be invited back to Anaheim. So, if you have been using essential oils, or excuse me, hold on. If you've been using essential oils exclusively, not just doTERRA, but if you've been using oils consistently, okay, for less than a year, please sit down. Everyone else stay standing. Less than a year, have a seat. Less than 2 years, have a seat. Less than 3 years. Doesn't count if you bought a kit 3 years ago and it stayed underneath your medicine cabinet until 6 months ago. Because that's not using them, right? Okay, how about less than 4 years? Sit down. Okay, I want you guys to look around at this room really quick, and I always find a theme. It's so funny. We never pre-talk about this stuff, and anytime I go to talk anywhere, there's a theme. And the people go before me, I'm like, they stole my presentation, right? So Angela mentioned something earlier. I want you guys to look around. The people in this room that are still standing, they know more about essential oils than 90% of medical professionals in the world do. Please give them a giant round of applause. And you can have a seat. Thank you. So the women that were standing, and men, because I know there's some back there, we call them, in my world, we call them oil mavens. And if you've ever had the blessing of knowing Beth Anna Phillips, she's an incredible blue diamond, wifey status, she's my best friend. Her team is oil mavens. And where she came up with the idea is it's people that they don't need some crazy degree to share with what's on their heart and help others and take their own health care back into their own hands and make choices regarding what is best for them. Okay? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So massive, massive congratulations to everyone in this room because you are officially an oil maven just by being willing to try something that's better for you and share it with other people. So, Steve, did my slides work?
I'm trying, they're not coming up because they're coming in a PDF, and the PDF doesn't open for you.
Okay, I sent them 2 different ways to you. Let me send it again. Okay, so I'm gonna talk for a minute. There's only a few slides I want you guys to see, so it'll be fine if it doesn't work. Okay, it just helps me keep me on track. See, I didn't even look at it. Hold on. Bear with me here. I'm telling you, it's on here. Let's see. If I pull it up, it helps me. Okay, let me tell you 2 seconds about me and then we'll move on. So who the heck am I and why would you want to care for me at all. And where did this message come from? So my name is Samantha Davis. You can call me Sam. I only know a handful of people there, which is super exciting because I love getting to talk to new crowds. I'm from way up north. I think a lot of you guys are Southern California, like Anaheim area, right? I'm up in Santa Clarita. I have a birth center with my partner up there. I'm a birth doula, not the same thing as a midwife. And we use oils with all of our moms, and it's really beautiful and amazing. But you guys, I've been with doTERRA for 5 years, and did you know that I didn't start exclusively using them with my moms, and actually talking to them about buying kits until a year and a half ago? So people go, that's how she's a diamond. Of course, she has a birth center. It's just so easy for her. No, y'all, I had the same blocks in my head you did, and I didn't want to be salesy. I didn't want to bother my clients. I was totally not serving them, you guys, right? I would just use oils on them in their labor, but I wouldn't empower them the way we do today. So you know what we do today? Today, as soon as they come into care, they get offered their choice of one of 3 essential oil kits. And the biggest one is everything they need for pregnancy, everything they need for childbirth, everything they need for postpartum and baby, okay? And then they go down from there. So it's really cool. So what we're doing is empowering them. And I know that word's kind of like outplayed, empower. But if we go back to what empower really means, we're getting the opportunity to show other people how to take it back into their hands. So, I started speaking about using oils because everyone wants to hear from the doula, because if they hear it from a professional, that means it's real, right? And I started talking about using essential oils in the birth world about 2 years ago. And since then, about once a week, at least, I have to go into my spam folder and find all of the people who I don't know, I'm not friends with, and there's messages from all of you guys asking questions that really you already know the answers to. And I wish I had all the time to just go back and answer everyone's questions, but I just don't, and it's like heartbreaking and devastating. So I'm working on getting a book to you guys, so that you can just buy the book, and we won't have to talk about that anymore. But who wants to leave here today and feel like they really understand how to use this with children, with their families? Who here has small children? Small children, okay. So some of us are still having babies. Who here has people on their teams that have small children? Okay, do you guys need to know this stuff? All right, okay, so we're gonna talk about that. So something that I really love to do is I love to come into each, I don't like to plan my presentations weeks or months in advance. I meditate a lot, and I like to meditate and pray on it the night before, and I just say, God, will you just bring me and into my heart whatever this crowd needs to hear, whatever they're looking for and serves them. So that's what I really want to do today. So I don't want to stick too much on the cut and dry, this is what you need to do, right? But I want to give you guys the power back. That's my message, is I want you guys to be able to walk out of here feeling like you know what you're talking about. So after I get through this first few examples, feel free to raise your hands and ask questions, okay? All right, so first things first, is it safe to use essential oils on children?
Yes.
Is it safe to use essential oils for pregnancy?
Yes.
Is Sam going to go crazy if one more person messages her and says peppermint is not safe for pregnancy? Yes. I'm gonna lose my mind. Peppermint is my favorite oil for pregnancy, you guys, okay? And you have resources. Did you know there's a video on YouTube, it's been there for probably 5 or 6 years, by Dr. Hill. It's 2 minutes long, and he explains the difference between doTERRA essential oils and why they're safe for pregnancy in less than 2 minutes. Did you guys know that video exists?
No.
I have been sharing that video for 5 years. People go, oh, well, peppermint's not safe for pregnancy. And I go, yeah, it is. Let me tell you why. And I send them a 2-minute video, and guess what? They hear it from a professional, not you. Now all of a sudden, a professional that knows everything, right? Because you can find anything on the internet, and that means it's true. So, that video is awesome. It's on doTERRA's YouTube page, but you can literally Google, go to YouTube or Google and say, Dr. Hill pregnancy. It's a 2-minute video. All he says in that, and I'm going to teach you guys a sentence, and you'll remember it forever, okay? It's a run-on sentence. All he says in that video, bless you, is that the difference is, previously before doTERRA, okay, we had a different grade of essential oils and synthetics in oils that made them not safe, right? because we have this entire different realm of essential oils that does not have any synthetics. They're safe. And all of doTERRA's essential oils are safe for pregnancy. Can you guys teach people that? All of doTERRA's oils are safe for pregnancy. So there's only a few things that I don't recommend, okay? Now, there's something called cervical incompetence. Basically what that means, there's really nasty medical terms for making women feel like they're not good enough, like a cervical incompetence. Right? But my favorite now, you guys, is if you're over 35 and having a baby, geriatric pregnancy. It's real hot stuff. I'm gonna let my future husband know that we'll be having a geriatric baby soon. Because I'm totally gonna have a husband and more babies one day with this uterus. So, until then, you guys just keep popping them out and I'll keep catching them. All right. So, I'm telling you, girl, I'm waiting. I'm manifesting this man. Hold on. Like another beautiful water birth, I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's so beautiful, I can totally do that again. And then I have a 3-day birth and I'm like, I can't wait to do that. I'm not doing that for at least 3 more years. So we'll have a geriatric pregnancy. Back to the cervical incompetence. See, that's why I need slides, Steve. They're up. We'll use them in just a second. I don't like stay on track. I might need actually into not more confidence, not more basal. Okay, so we'll go over this in just a second. So the thing with the cervical incompetence, all it means is that you have a cervix that tries to open up before it should, okay? So I'm a cervical cancer survivor. I don't really use that word very often, but that's the best way to explain it, is a couple of times they said I had cervical cancer. A couple of times I did what Western medicine wanted, and a couple of times it failed. So then I tried my own stuff and it worked, and it keeps working. So I don't believe in that cervical incompetence stuff. But what happens is, when I did the Western medicine, they go in and they actually cut out part of your cervix, the part that has the cancerous cells, right? So what happens is you have scar tissue grow back, okay? So now what happens, because that scar tissue is one of 2 things. Either the scar tissue doesn't want to dilate and open, and you might end up in a cesarean if you can't get that tissue to open, or it opens prematurely, okay? It doesn't want to stay intact. So those are some reasons why a woman might have a miscarriage, okay? But 90% of the time when she has a miscarriage, it's because your body is so smart. Your body is brilliant and beautiful and designed flawlessly in nature. And it can look at that embryo and that egg and say, this isn't a healthy pregnancy, and it passes. That's what a miscarriage is. So it's never your fault. Okay, so many women, actually 30% of the women in this room have had a miscarriage before. It's really sad to say, but it's the truth. We don't talk enough about this stuff. I'm a talker, you guys. I'm all about, we need to share these things, right? We need to empower other women to know it's okay. So, your body did something. So babies that are born with disabilities, they're actually pure miracles by God, because your body was built with this like mechanism to tell your body to pass that. Instead, it kept that baby was meant to be. Does that make sense? You feel a lot better when you realize, whenever there's understanding, there's less shame and guilt and fear, huh? When we just understand, so we've got to keep educating ourselves. So the point of this, back to the whole cervical incompetence, is if you go and tell a woman to use Claricon, or Clarisage, or Neroli, Clarisage is in Claricon, and she has a history of miscarriage or an incompetent cervix, it will help her body do what it's supposed to. This is all essential oils do, okay? They give your body what it needs to do what it wants to do. So if you're gonna have a miscarriage, you're gonna have one regardless of Clarisage, but it is going to help the process. So for me, I err on the side of caution, and I say even though they are completely safe, I don't tell my mom to use Clarisage, Neroli, or Claricon before 37 weeks, because I don't want to be responsible for her thinking oils is what made her body decide that it shouldn't have that baby. You guys follow? So can you guys confidently say that doTERRA essential oils are safe for every man, woman, and child?
doTERRA essential oils are safe for
every man, woman, and child. Okay, and we'll talk about diluting in just a second. So we'll get there. Okay, so we're gonna do something because I like where Angela went with this. Go ahead and turn down the lights because I want you guys to see a few slides. And then we're coming back into the light, baby, because you guys need to stay awake. Okay, so this is my gorgeous little boy. He's going to be 8 years old in June. He built this business with me. We do everything together, right? And when he was 3 years old, I don't know if you guys remember this, there's only a few people in the room who do. doTERRA came out with these toppers. They were roller bottles that went on top of an actual 15 ml. And mine was in the bathroom. And he's 3 years old, and he was so empowered, you guys. He used his oils for everything, right? This little kid doesn't know what meds are. He just goes and gets his oils. So I'm in the shower, I'm doing my thing, and he's like, Mom, in his cute little 3-year-old voice that I have to get back so bad. And he's like, I need oils. And I'm like, I'm in the shower, they're right there. I'll get them when I get out. And he's like, I can't get the tops off. And I'm like, it's okay, honey, I'll help you when I get out. And he goes, oh, never mind, I got it. And I look out, and he's got the peppermint with the roller on top of it, and he's rolling peppermint all over his feet, straight peppermint, rolling it on. He's 3. I'm in the shower. And I'm like, okay, honey, just don't touch your eye. And he looks up and goes, what? And he starts screaming, right? So what do? Brand new doTERRA user. I hop out of the